Grace and peace, grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. Let's get in it. Let's talk about it. Why is it difficult to be a conservative? Why is it difficult to hold to conservative values in 2025? Let's go check it out.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling.
I know it's hard to be a conservative. If you want safety and security, I'm going to give you some hard news right now. Don't be a conservative. Don't be one of us. Because we're the renegades now and we're the misfits. We are the counterculture.
After coming out the quote-unquote conservative closet, I've come to realize that there is nothing a white liberal hates more than a black conservative. I mean, they hate conservatives overall, but there is nothing they despise more than a black man with conservative values, for the simple sake that they are no longer able to use us as a prop or as somebody they can attach themselves to in order to, rid themselves of their white guilt or essentially virtue signal themselves to. I think nobody does a better job at keeping racism alive than the race hustlers who get paid for it and the white liberals who use it as a means to virtue signal to the world that they are this righteous human being, and we should give them some sort of props for being that, aka the white savior. And it makes perfect sense to me because the entire foundation of the Democratic Party is that of control.
I'm not a Republican, but if I was, I would be extremely concerned about censorship in social media, which is a real thing. Censorship of Republican ideas and conservative ideas is absolutely a real thing, and it's not just real, it's accepted as being the right thing to do by certain organizations. I mean, they've been caught on camera and hidden camera talking about the ways that you can silence conservative voices. Social media is way more potent than anything else when it comes to getting a message out. And for sure, conservatives are being discriminated against on social media by social media platforms.
Why is it always the far left-wing liberals that will break a friendship because of someone else's political view?
Part of the problem with insane conservatives today is that they are genuinely stupid, and you cannot have an actual intelligent conversation with stupid people.
We have two sides in America. We have one side that is heavily armed thanks to the Second Amendment. And then we have another side which engages in the vast majority of the political violence in America, whether it's through Antifa or through pro-Palestine protests, whether it's the riots after George Floyd. The vast majority of political violence happens on the left, as well as the politically violent rhetoric. And that politically violent rhetoric is against a very heavily armed other side that never takes up arms against the people calling them violent.
Happened on campus yesterday afternoon, and a Yolo County elected leader says it appears to be a coordinated assault at a Turning Point USA event.
Disturbing scene unfolded on UC Davis's campus Thursday afternoon as a confrontation between a conservative speaker and counter-protesters turned violent, now being investigated by UC Davis police.
I should have stopped at that. That was Brandon Tatum right there, man. Back up just a little smidgen right there. That's Brandon Tatum right there in that red hat. That dude is humongous, man. I don't know why this little guy right here in this bike feels empowered to mess with I'm not a small guy. I wouldn't mess with Brandon Tatum right here. Boy, he's so crazy. Look at him. That's a huge man.
And
Get a BT, get him.
Now being investigated by UC Davis police.
There's never a place for that kind of intimidation or violence on a university campus.
Beth Bourne is with Moms for Liberty, and she is also a UC Davis employee. She walked into the fray holding a sign. As the video shows, she was assaulted while trying to engage with the crowd, which mostly wore masks.
I've been watching Joe Biden, this speech that he gave a week or so ago. He basically told 74 million Americans, we don't belong here. I've never seen anything like that. And I've been watching presidential speeches going back to Eisenhower. There's never been a president who in a presidential address, even in a political campaign, but in a presidential address, basically insulted half the country and said that they were enemies and a threat to democracy.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
I just want to stop for a second, and I just want to ask you, dearwolksy@gmail.com, can you please send me any video evidence of Republicans, conservatives, asking for this type of stuff? Give me an example of a conservative telling conservative base to go attack people at gas stations and malls and restaurants, or saying they want to wring someone's neck or delete. Show me that. And as I've said before, this is the blood cult of the Democrat Party. They are the ones that are doing this. This is not us. But let us continue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
We just started getting word just a couple of moments ago that Charlie Kirk has been shot. We have very few details so far coming in on this.
It is my great dishonor to be the person that says this and breaks this to you on television, but President Donald Trump is announcing on Truth Social, the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
What the f*** is happening? Mike Lee, I am tracking the situation at Utah Valley University closely. Please join me in praying for Charlie Kirk and the students gathered there. How is it shots fired at Charlie Kirk event at Utah Valley University? Shots have been fired at Charlie Kirk event at Utah Valley University. Footage from the scene showed event goers screaming as shots rang out on Wednesday. People at the event took to social media to share details of the moment someone opened fire at the conservatives event. Kirk published a post on X just minutes before reports of the shooting emerged. What the f*** is going on?
Before we had a flag and we had... He just got shot! Holy Holy
Deseret is reporting he was shot. Okay, Deseret News now reporting Charlie Kirk shot at Utah event. Charlie Kirk, this is a breaking news story and will be updated. Charlie Kirk was shot at an event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah on Wednesday. Bystanders report seeing Kirk shot. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my God. Bystanders report seeing Kirk shot near his neck during a Q&A with students. What the f is happening, brother? Oh! Dude, you hear a shot, you hear the crack of a shot, and then you hear his head just crack back right after. And I think what the people are saying is correct, that he might have been shot in the neck. Oh my God. Disavow quickly and vehemently for your own safety? Yeah, no dude. What the do you mean? Of course, I don't think you guys understand. I was supposed to debate him in a public setting like a month from now. Obviously, aside from the principle of it all, yeah, no it's also for my own personal safety as well. I'm also, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm also a public figure who does political commentary.
I sat in this room last summer, the night they shot the president, and now they shot Charlie. And I'm not sure it's safe to be an outspoken conservative walking around in America right now. I mean, what was Charlie doing? Making a speech, engaging in rhetoric, having a debate. That's the bedrock of our nation.
These people are wild. This is so wild.
Would you shoot somebody like Charlie Kirk?
I would have killed him myself.
You would have killed him yourself? Okay.
I'm just really glad Charlie Kirk just got himself shot, because he's right. Empathy is dangerous to society. So no one should give a that he's dead.
Wow. Can you find anything like this? Republicans doing this in mass, just in mass doing this. Because this isn't a one-off. You're not just talking about one or two crazy TikTokers and one crazy guy with a megaphone on the end of the block. We're talking about this is the general consensus of that side of the political argument.
Yeah, and again, I emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. We don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this. But following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Jack, it is just disgusting. They couldn't wait a day before they start trashing Charlie Kirk.
For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God.
Charlie Kirk got shot in the fucking neck. That was the last bastion. I can't be a liberal no fucking more. You see the fucking comments? I hope the gun is okay. The same fucking people asking for moral decency. I cannot in good faith align myself with you guys anymore. I once had a headache. You'll be all right. Because you don't agree with him politically? Okay. Whatever happens next, in retaliation, whoever did that, I hope they throw the whole fucking book at you. Why I did not agree with his views, when you put violence in the fucking middle of the equation, all this shit goes out the window. Everything that you stand for goes out the fucking window. Who's next? Candace Owens?
He was a young political star defending American freedoms, especially the freedom of speech. And if guys like Charlie are targets for assassination, we all are. Charlie Kirk's just like you and me. We speak our minds. We speak from the heart. We tell the truth because we believe in the country and everything that it was founded on.
What advice do you have for me as I move into adulthood in order to become a more informed and involved citizen?
Well, first of all, thank you for being here, and I have hope thanks to people like you. How old are you again?
13.
13. Here's a couple things I want to encourage you to do. Learn something new every single day. And focus on what it means to be a good person and a person of strong character. Aristotle said that courage is the ultimate virtue. Without it, there are no other virtues. If people aren't courageous, you don't have honesty. You don't have justice. You don't have beauty. You don't have wonder. And so at age 13, I want you to commit yourself to a life of courage. Courage is doing the right thing when you don't know how it's going to work out. Courage is committing yourself to the correct course of action, regardless of the cost associated to it.
Every human being, I believe, is made in the image of the divine, is sacred, is unique, and if we get away from this principle as we have, we not only have moral degradation, we not only have the collapsing society around us, but it's bad for that being itself. That being itself is unique. That being has rights, and who are we to say, just because we're older, that we get to murder it? Thank you.
Shout out for sure. I want to make a correction. I said it's hard to be a conservative. Let me tell you right now, it is the most enjoyable, fulfilling thing to be one that holds to strong and firm to traditional values and traditional ethics and believes in a true judge, and that judge is Christ. You know what? I take it back. It's extremely easy to be a conservative. All we do is trust in our King and know that we're following his orders and doing exactly what he tells us to do until the end. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.